Welcome to the USATF Journey to Gold Zone podcast. I'm Amy Begley.
And I'm Rob Mullett.
And we're here with two of our fantastic women who raced in the World Cross Country Championships. We have Ednah Kurgat, who was 10th, and Karissa Schweizer, who was 17th. And they ran their hearts out today, and we're here to talk to them a little bit about the race and just about the rest of the year and what this leads into. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
And I know you're tired.
Yeah.
Was it more the heat or the course today that is making you tired?
Both. I don't know. The heat was exhausting. Definitely another obstacle.
That's a good way to put it. I like that. And I know we tried to do the ice vest, and did you guys take advantage of the ice vest? How did that go today?
Yeah, I mean, I wore an ice vest. I feel like it was hot after the warm up, so I was like, I need something, and I just poured my whole water bottle on me before the start.
I took advantage of the cold water before the start of the race. I put all over my body to cool me down.
Yeah.
But I didn't use the ice vest.
Okay. So did you guys have race plans going into it, and did you follow those race plans, or did we change them up compared to the...
And part of the reason
Yes.
we want to ask that
Yes.
question is because you both moved up steadily through the race. I think you both moved up at least 5 or 6 places from the first split to the finish line.
Yeah.
So was that part of the plan?
I mean, I definitely was watching Edna from afar, but she just went out too fast, and I knew for myself, I was like, okay, I need to hope that they just come back to me. I knew I was around, like, being around that 20th, like, place would be good for me, and, like, kind of being that chase pack. But, yeah, I just kept picking them up as I went. I definitely was struggling, like, 2 laps in, so I had to pace myself.
Yeah, for me, I didn't have any specific structure. I just wanted to start out conservatively and try to work myself up because I didn't know how my body was going to respond to the conditions out there. So I just wanted to start conservatively and work myself up as the race goes by. And it turned out the way I had that in mind.
Yeah.
I did. Which one of the obstacles do you think was the hardest, or did you plan for, or really go and take a look at about which way you were going to go around it?
I think we both agreed the sand was actually, I don't know if it was like the hardest or it was just like one I overlooked when we were like doing pre-meet. I was like, oh, this isn't going to be too bad. And then when we went through it, I was like, I'm so bad at this. This is so hard. Can't get your footing. And it lasted way too long.
Yeah, the same. I thought the sand was definitely the hardest part of the obstacles. I was struggling to get the footing right and move fast or keep up with the pace over the sand, and I felt like it was getting longer over as every lap.
Every lap, you're
Did
like,
they add more sand? What's going on?
definitely.
And then the roller coaster was also hard to
Yeah, and they were right next to each other.
to just go over it within a short period of time.
Yeah.
How was the roller coaster immediately off the start? I think it was 300-ish meters in, and it's very slightly downhill, and then you just hit that thing.
Yeah. Definitely was beating up my legs every time because I was just rolling the downhill and then having to immediately go up this roller coaster and immediately down it again.
Yeah, I think it's the way they set it up. It was too sharp, and you have to use too much power to get up to the top.
Yeah.
That was the hardest part of it, with fighting fatigue on your legs.
Yeah.
Which was the worst obstacle on lap 5?
Oh, honestly, the mud, the hill leading into the mud is just like, that was killing me. I don't think anyone like saw that hill, but it was brutal.
I'm glad you brought that question because the last lap of lap 5, I tripped over the alligator blocks.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
and I was so close to falling, and I lost contact with the lady, the Ugandan lady that was ahead of me,
Yeah.
that was targeting to get towards the finish line. So it just messed me up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would say the blocks, the alligator blocks was the hardest.
Yeah.
Going into lap 5. I think jumping over when I was tired would get harder.
Yeah. The obstacles were terrible too because I feel like everyone around you would sense if you struggled on one and then they would just press.
Take advantage of it.
And I like lost people on certain obstacles too. I was like, no.
It was probably a little narrow on some of the obstacles, right?
The
Especially
mud
early.
too, if you didn't get your position, because it was like a 1 lane on the mud. So like one time I was like, the last lap, I got cut off and then I was like behind these people and I was like, oh no. But I wasn't gonna go on the really muddy spot. But yeah.
I think everyone was happy that it was warm enough that the mud was not quite as bad as Portland.
Yes, I was so happy after
It
Portland.
was way better than Portland. Okay.
Yeah.
And everyone understands now why we chose Portland, because we're like, if they can run Portland, they can run this course. Because we knew what the
Yes.
obstacles were going to be, and we're like, we have to have something that's going to be hard.
Yes, definitely got your toughest team out there.
And we needed it after today, definitely. So you guys had this planned, right, to make this team? Like, when did you start planning to make this team? Was it something you wanted like last year, or was it like a last minute decision?
Mine was like kind of last minute when I ended the season. I really was excited about it being in the U.S. and last time I did cross was actually in 2019 and it did not go so well for me. So I was like, I need redemption and I just want to be back on a cross course. It's been like 5 years. So yeah, it was really fun. I like to shorten the cross country season.
Mine was a last minute kind of decision too, because I started my training later towards May, and I didn't know how my body was gonna come back after not competing for a while. So I did some couple of road races during summer, and then around August is when I decided, oh, we have cross country coming up towards the end of the year, why don't I give a shot? And that's when I switched the focus to cross country. So like 3 months prior to the nationals.
And we're glad you did, because we heard a stat, right, Rob?
Yes. I think we believe it is the top US finisher since 2011, your 10th place finish today. So,
I know. We're very glad you decided the last minute
Yeah.
to
Yes.
like make cross
Hard.
country the thing, because
Yeah.
that was great.
Yeah, it's so impressive on a world cross country stage.
Yeah, that's pretty good. We were excited.
Yeah, way to start the year.
Yeah.
how did this course today compare to Portland for US champs? Obviously, they are a little different. Do you have a preference on which you maybe preferred?
Definitely today, actually, because I think if World Cross was placed in Portland with the exact same conditions that we had, I would have done worse than I would have done today. Because that footing was so tough, and I was just struggling in the mud. I just could never really get up to speed. Today was a different struggle, but yeah.
Yeah, I would still choose today's as well. Definitely, because Portland was hard all through the course. You don't know what's going to happen any minute. But this one, you can predict the obstacle is coming up and get your mind ready for that. So I will definitely choose today's course.
So in planning, what's next for you guys? Did you plan this into a whole season? Are you taking time off? Where can we see you next?
Well, I'm definitely taking the next few days off. My body is toast from those obstacles. But yeah, I'm trying to figure that out right now, if I'll do like an indoor race or if I'll just do a little something different with it being an off year.
Yeah, I have military games coming up in March,
Okay.
the first week of March, so that's my next focus moving forward is going to be a 10K cross country again.
Oh wow, where will that be at?
It's going to be in Greece.
Oh cool.
Yeah, so still going on with the cross country season.
It's a long cross country season.
Yeah, we like that. That'd be good. That'd be a fun one.
Yeah.
Be interested to see what that course is like.
I'm hoping it's nothing harder than this one.
Yeah.
I know we have some road championships. So if you guys looking into any of the USATF road championships, especially the ones that might qualify you for the next team.
Yes. Potentially.
Okay.
There's a lot of distances. I don't know where I'll land from mile to half marathon, 5K. I don't know. But yeah.
I heard 5K. I heard half marathon. What?
Well, we don't know.
Wait, what? Are we gonna announce this?
No. Not yet. Not after that.
Okay.
Like that felt long.
Oh
Yeah.
man, I thought we were gonna have a good announcement coming out tonight.
No, not yet.
All right, that works. What about you?
Initially, I was planning to do the half USATF in March in Atlanta, but then it conflicted with the military games,
Yep.
and I had to make the hard decisions on
Yeah.
which one to go with.
Greece, Atlanta. I mean, you know.
USATF qualifies you for road,
Yes.
for World
Yep.
Road, so
Yep.
it was a heavy decision
Yes,
to
it is.
decide on it.
Okay.
But I will come back and see which one I do
Okay.
after cross country.
I like it. Speaking of USATF road races, we had a world champs in the U.S. How was the crowd today for you guys?
It was awesome. Like, it's so funny, even just like coming from the bus and walking in, and so many people are like, "That's Team USA." You're like, "Yeah, we're in Florida." But it was like very cute, and just lots of pictures afterwards. Like they did a very good job of like setting it up where you could really interact with the fans, and I took so many pictures after, I loved it. It was really fun.
Oh, very cool. Did you hear it? Was it really loud on the course?
Really.
Yes.
Yeah.
You kept hearing people saying, "Go Team USA, Team USA." Wow. And then I also could just tell like people were around me too on the team, which was like honestly nice to know while you were racing.
Were you expecting that amount of people out on the course today?
No, I wasn't. But I think they just did such a good job with like putting the races, like the different races about. Like I talked to a bunch of like little kids that were racing the youth 2K. And then I watched it, and it was so cute seeing them go through the obstacles when they're like this tall. So yeah.
What about you, Edna? Did you enjoy the Team USA chants? And
Yeah, I can explain how that play a huge role, especially when I was running, because I was catching up all by myself, and to hear all the spectators yelling Team USA, and I could also see their banners written Team USA.
Yeah.
So it meant a lot, and it was great to be. I guess that's the advantage of being at the home ground, and the fact that they could easily get close to you and cross over to the other side was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really exciting to have that many people show up for a
Yeah.
championship here, because I think it makes it a little bit more special than it already is to have a home world championships.
even if we didn't work it, I probably would have come because I wanted to see it. It's like
Yeah.
once in the 30 years that we have it on
Yes,
US soil. People that
definitely.
didn't take advantage, I was like, oh, come on.
Yeah.
You need to come,
Very
you need
fun.
to come and watch us.
So Edna, today was obviously a really great performance, and it came off a setback of sitting out most of 2024 with injury. Can you tell us a little bit of how this race fit into your plan of getting back fit, and how much motivation maybe it had to help you get back to where you are?
Yes, I would say it was a great comeback for me, especially dealing with injuries and the uncertainties of not knowing how long it will take you to recover from it, or how far are you from getting close to your previous fitness. And that tormented my mental part of it when I was injured and frustrated. So I turned the setback into a positive part of it and strengthened my mindset that when I come back, I just want to use that as a motivating factor going into my racing, and nothing compared to not doing what you love to do when you are injured. So I think it helped me develop my mental resilience and overcoming that and learning to navigate the training around that.
At what point in the comeback did you feel like you got back to where you wanted to be in a fitness sense?
I would say after the 20K road races is when I finished that, and I was like, oh, I'm not too far from what I thought. So I switched my mind immediately. That was in September 1st. And that's when my focus shifted to training for cross country and trying to make the team.
It's kind of a perfect timeline, really.
Yeah.
5 or 6 months coming into this championship at least.
Yes.
Well, we're really excited that you got through that and that you were able to switch the mindset and be really excited for it. Does going through things like that probably helps you help other people? And this trip, we had the U20s with the senior women and senior men. Did you guys get to interact with the U20s?
Definitely. Some of them, I would say the guys were definitely more outgoing.
Okay.
So they were asking like more of the funny questions, but women, it was cute. They definitely they just really, you can tell they look up to us and just are trying to see what we're doing stuff, and just even, they performed so well out there too, but it's cool to be able to interact with them, and I know that even competing at this level for them at this age is going to help them so much moving forward, and we're definitely going to see them on the senior stage in years to come.
Yeah, I think I like interacting with, I talked with some of the ladies. They are just innocent and happy to be here. I felt like they don't have the pressure that we put in our minds.
Which is nice to see that. Yeah.
It challenged me to be just go with the flow and have fun out there. Mm-hmm. That's pretty much what they were doing. And that's why they perform exemplary good today. Mm-hmm. Is because they don't put that pressure on themselves. So I think as they are trying to learn from us, we also learn from how it feels to be young and not like going with enjoying the moment.
Remembered why you started and
Yes.
the love of it when you started running. I think sometimes we forget that because we have so many things that we want to do, which is why you're great athletes, because you keep setting these high goals, and sometimes, you know, that puts a lot of pressure. But I think seeing them and their excitement is really fun.
Yeah.
It's like you said, watching the 2K, right?
Oh, yeah.
That was the joy of those
It
kids
was
jumping over that
so
stuff.
cute. Yeah.
Aw.
Lovely.
But we were really excited. We were really excited for how you guys did, and we're really proud of what you guys did, and being able to do it on the home soil. We couldn't be prouder. So thank you guys so much for being part of this and being role models that the U20s can look up to, because that'll be them in a few years. The next World Champs is not till 29, so we're so sad about that. But we will be excited for the next crew that comes along, and we're excited to see what you guys do on the roads, on the track, wherever it is.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, appreciate it.